and welcome to the Business Debate. I'm Sarah Lockett, and today we're talking about property investments. Investing, especially in the property sector, can be confusing with so many different products available. Traditionally, the rates of return for most property investments have been linked to the economic cycle. But the impact of the 2008 financial crisis has shown that there are alternatives to the traditional investment vehicles that benefit from large returns. Best International are a rapidly growing boutique asset management house and wealth manager. They provide organisations with innovative corporate financing options to help grow their businesses while presenting consumers with the opportunity to invest in these propositions, either directly or through their pensions. To discuss the benefits and rewards of this type of investment, Nadira Tudor spoke to the CEO of Best International, Brad Lincoln.
Brad, thanks for joining us here at the London Stock Exchange studios.
Thank you.
What have been the key challenges affecting investments, particularly in the property market?
What we've seen in the property market, property's property. Those that have experience and expertise, normally those that are high net worth or can afford to employ expensive advisors, have done pretty well out of property, and people will have seen that. Where there's been a disconnect is in the mass market. People who've gone into correlated property funds and mass market products exposed to property have not done so well, and they've become disappointed a little bit by that through the last economic cycle.
So you mentioned correlated investments, but there are non-correlated investments as well. So can you explain the differences between the two?
Of course. By correlated, we know that there is an economic cycle, and in this increasingly global economy, there are some products which are primarily affected by the change in macroeconomic items, interest rates and so on and so forth. And the larger property funds will be of that nature. They'll be affected by global changes. If everything you're invested in is invested in things that are affected by that, then you are entirely exposed to the correlated sector. The non-correlated sector is one where the impact of your investment is really more to do with the specific opportunity, the management teams behind it, or the specific dynamics that make that investment work.
It sounds fascinating. Can you give us some examples of this?
Yeah, of course. So where mass market investors who want to expose to property may go into a property fund, those that want to go into non-correlated assets, they may look for very specific opportunities. For example, they might look at a property asset-backed opportunity, a corporate bond that maybe is involved in the renewable energy sector or something of that nature, which can deliver a return which is property-backed, but is based around a specific business plan or a specific business opportunity. We've seen examples in renewable energy, waste, urban student housing, and other property opportunities.
Is this only available to businesses? Who invests in it, and can consumers get involved?
From the business side, what we've found is that businesses have taken the opportunity to use their property assets as leverage or security to gain more investment. So businesses have become interested where they feel they can offer a non-correlated opportunity, and we do advise businesses in that area. On the consumer side, what we've been working very hard to do is to take the experience that we have and to give the opportunities that high net worths get and make them available to the mass investment market, those people who are investing elements of their pension funds, for example. So we can do it, and we do it through discretionary fund management portfolios and other opportunities for the mass market.
How can potential investors get involved?
Well, the first important point is that if you don't have the experience and expertise, particularly in the non-correlated sector where there are some risks, then you should work through an independent financial advisor, an IFA. But then I would suggest that those type of investors who are interested, they direct their IFA towards things such as the Portfolio 6 that we operate, which invests in fixed interest corporate bonds, which are property asset backed. That will enable them to use expertise that maybe they or their IFA don't have to pick winners in the non-correlated sector, but still have an element of diversification.
How convinced are you that people are actually going to switch the way they think?
Well, I think people have become somewhat dissatisfied with just being exposed to the correlated sector, getting very low level single-digit returns, and in some cases zero returns, where the costs of operating the funds are eating up all the returns. So we've seen a great interest in the non-correlated sector. People have become a little bit dissatisfied with just having their funds just managed for them, and they want to take a bit more interest. So we've seen increasing interest in that area. I think the returns as well. We've seen 9.9, 9.95 returns as fairly standard over the last 2 or 3 years from many of these non-correlated opportunities, and inevitably people are going to get interested in those.
Brad, thank you very much for joining us in the studio.
Thank you.